Good morning, guys. Good morning. Happy Saturday morning to y'all. It is Frank's Supra day. So today we are working on Frank's Supra, and Frank drops it off because we're getting a new clutch for this car. So this car is getting a little bit of a revamp. It's getting a new feed line, fuel line. It's also going to be getting rolling anti-lag. I'm going to install that into the factory cruise control switch, and it's also getting a new Tilton twin disc clutch from Grandis Racing. Drinking my Starbucks right now. Don't ever really get Starbucks. I'm cheap, but it does taste damn good. I know there's politics around it, but goddamn, Starbucks tastes really good. But anyways, let's go ahead and look at what he's got here. And again, we'll look at this car because it is a beauty. It just is. So if you guys don't know, this is Frank's 98 Quicksilver 6-speed, a technical one-owner vehicle. So he's owned this since 98. Yeah, car is absolutely beautiful. Has a tick under 50,000 miles on the clock. This car sits outside year round, has a car covering. He takes very good care of it, but it is a real 98 Supra. I recently installed a AM Infinity on it, tuned by John Kerr. Just a very basic car, runs 93 pump gas only, and it's just a perfect car for Frank in my opinion. I really do like this car. Just always thought it was nice. He did start blacking things out. The only thing he hasn't done, and I keep telling him he better not, is this intake manifold. That's a real Veilside intake manifold, if you're old enough to remember. Veilside used to make performance parts. He did install a new turbo. It used to have an older precision turbo. Now it has a newer, still journal bearing, 76, 75 turbo. It's funny enough, that's what I'm thinking about going with on my car. Only difference would be dual ball bearing. So very nice little setup here. He put a freed catch can in, powder coated the rest, carbon fiber. Everything else has been blacked out instead of polished, except for this one specific area. I'm trying to tell him not to. If he's going to do it, I would just take this off, shelf it, just because it is what it is. It's very cool, and just get another intake manifold. That's my personal opinion, because it even has some old school injectors in. If we're going to do that, we'll revamp it all, but at this time, I think that's unnecessary. Sorry, my light blew out over here, guys, so it's a little bit darker, but here is what we're working with today. This is a Grandis Racing clutch kit. So what we have here is the Tilton ST246. This is going to be good for whatever he needs to throw at it. I believe these are rated for 850 foot-pounds at the wheels. So that is some serious torque. Basing things off torque, now horsepower is the best way to do it also, because that's really what your adder is. Horsepower is just a multiplier of what torque is. I believe, I forget what the equation is, but I can actually put it down below for y'all. Twin disc, it is an organic style clutch, so it's really easy slip to drive. This also has a dual match flywheel that is also steel. This has a aluminum flywheel now, he told me, and explains a lot why the clutch is so chattery, why it's hard to slip, because it's just so loose. This should make it a lot easier to drive. This will rob some horsepower, but it should make it easier to drive. He also has some brand new V160 fluid, because again, V160 car, not a T56 mag. Willwood brake master cylinder. We had a little bit of an issue on Colton's car, so I want to make sure this one goes in nice and okay on his car. We've got a brand new line here. We've got the mount for the Willwood, and we also have a Tilton throwout bearing. Again, I'll go through this, guys, within reason. I'm trying to get this done pretty quick, so I'm not going to show every little detail, but I'm going to try and get some video here and there. I'm not going to show the exact install. If you want that, go to Grandis' website. He's already done that math for you. I'm not going to repeat what he's already done. So I'm going to shut up now, start taking the interior out, because we have to do that first. And you're probably asking, Ryan, why do you have to take the interior out? Well, we got to take the transmission out. So let's get in here. I got to be careful getting in his car. Got my sweatpants on, don't want to mess anything up. But this panel needs to come out because we have to take out the shifter on this car. So the shifter's got to come out. We get this off first and foremost. Come on. We'll put everything off to the side here. This car's so clean inside too. Set that off to the side. We'll undo the Velcro here and here. Pull up on this. Always pull this out so you can pull up nicer. Pull up from the back like so. And it should pop up. Again, pop up here. Now, I don't know if he's got this plugged in. He does. So we're going to unplug that. We'll actually put this back in now. You have to open it up to put it back in. Sit it back in like so. Click it down. Just sit it off to the side. Now, you got to take these 4 10mm bolts out. Then we actually have to take those 4 10mm bolts on the top of the V160. It's the same with this W51, or W58, R154. They have 4 little bolts that hold it in. And then there's one 12mm bolt that slides across it. We'll have to pull out once I get underneath the car. But I want to remove all this stuff up top, so when I get up in the air, it makes it a little bit easier. I have not actually worked with the V160 doing this stuff. I've done shifters and things of that nature, but I have never done a clutch. So this is going to be a little new for me. I know it's funny, all these years of working on a Supra and I've never done a V160. Irony and all that stuff, right? Kind of funny. So let's get this unbolted, and I'm not going to record that part because it's boring.
Okay guys, if you look at the top of the clutch fork here, there's a little C-clamp here. I don't know if you can see that or not. So all you're going to do is slide that C-clamp out, and you can slide that slider out, and then the clutch fork should come right out. There's 2 bolts behind it first, so after we get this out, get those 2 bolts out and go from there.
Alright guys, so Colton's behind the camera. Sorry that's on right now, the heat, but HKS clutch is what came out. You can see all the metallic material here. This thing was at the end of its life. There is not much left of this. Look, you can see she was done. Hot spotted. She was done. She was done. Good old clutch, but it's about to be wall art. This would be cool to hang up on the wall, but that's it. The flywheel too, he said it was a light flywheel in the car. It wasn't, it was a steel flywheel. So it's very heavy, so this is actually slightly lighter. So I'm gonna get rid of this, and now it's time to put the actual new Tilton clutch in. All right guys, so there's gonna be 4 10mm bolts you're gonna remove with the V160. This takes this plate off, and you can see your bearing and seal then. This, you're not gonna reuse because you're gonna replace it with this adjustable that'll then go with your T56, or Tilton, I'm sorry, T56 guys, your Tilton throw-up bearing here. So we're gonna bolt this on now, use the factory bolt to put it back on. So go ahead there, Colton, put that back on. And then just line up the holes and you put those 4 10mm back on, and that's it. And then we'll slide this on, and then we'll start getting some measurements, guys, because we're gonna have to put the clutch on the actual engine first and do a couple other things again. I'm not gonna go over gross detail today, in gross detail, just because I just don't feel it's necessary. Joel already has a video. I'm just kind of showing you guys what I'm doing. And this way Frank feels a little bit better and sees what we do with this transmission. Okay guys, so I've slacked a lot on this car because it's pretty much done. So I just did not have time. I am finally getting to that point where I'm realizing, what does Ryan have time for between a full-time job, working on the car, trying to edit the video, trying to record the video? Just too much. So even right now it's done. It's like 9 o'clock at night. Like, it's just, it's so much to try and do. I really do. When people ask like, how do you do it? I really can't do it. Like, my brain's like, you should do it all, but it can't. Like, you physically, there's not enough time in the day for my body to physically do it all. And I'm gonna eventually, when I start, I guess I'm doing more of these cars. I got 2 more cars after this. Sean Forney is dropping off his black Supra, which is actually an 8080 giveaway Supra. He bought it from the gentleman, but that's pretty cool. Then I have another one after that, so I might actually have to hire help because I can't do it all. Yeah, and I've got more people hitting me up to work on their cars, so yeah, if you want your Supra worked on, I can definitely do it. It's just, holy cow, it's a lot, and I just want to do it the right way. So if you guys want your car worked on, I can definitely do it. Just gonna take some time, but this is what Frank's car looks like now. So the only thing I gotta do is put this panel back on. I took this off so I could hold the crank. I'm glad I did. Found out the crank bolt was completely off. When I mean off, it only had a couple threads and the bolt came off. I don't know how that happened, but whoever cranked it down didn't torque it to the right setting. So it's supposed to be 250 foot-pounds roughly, and someone did not do that. Glad I took that off now, but the clutch is in, bled. Did have a little issue with the master cylinder. Now here's the other issue too. Frank's got all this stuff over here for his fans, for the fuel pump. You can see it makes it a little hard. That Wheelwood master, I always have trouble with it, man. It's never happy with me. We finally did get it bled, but it's not as nice as the Tilton, in my opinion. So my car has a Tilton master cylinder, and I personally think this is nicer. Again, that's my personal opinion. I think the Tilton master is a nicer master cylinder. That's just how I feel. I'm gonna keep using mine, but that car's bled, ready to go. The only thing I have to do yet is the rolling anti-lag. So the steering wheel's apart, and you can see I've got it depinned here. I've got the wires ran already. I just need to physically, just literally put the wires there and pin it. So I had actually pinned it already. The problem was, see if I have it sitting here, make this easy to get to. That right here. So I'd actually pinned these, but these pins are way too big. These smaller pins are really, really tiny little guys. And unfortunately, I don't have any right now. So I'm waiting for Jose Valia at Kaizen Motorsports to send me some new ones, because I got to get this pinned and get it done so I can get this car out the door. But it's already done down there. I already pinned it, put a Deutsch connector there, pinned it directly to the AM Infinity. And when he pulls up now on his cruise control, go wah ba 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 ba, he'll have it. This car also has a real TRD tack. This is not Stu Hagen gauges. This is an original TRD tack that you would buy the physical body and then bolt it into the car. He did this back in the 90s and had Toyota actually do it. So I think that's cool. I did convince him to put a BTI gauge in, which is nice. And it still has the factory radio. The car is super clean. Again, one owner, 98 Quicksilver. Doesn't get much better. Back here in the car too, we also put a new fuel line in it. I had to take the cover off. For some reason, the trunk doesn't want to pop, so I put this rag here to keep it from latching. But everything else, got his battery box back in. I disconnected power because I was working with electrical. Didn't want to take any chances of bricking anything, but everything's back and clean. So I can actually take that out now and close that. Super turbo, I love this exhaust too. A little janky. I shouldn't say janky. It's definitely MIG welded, and there's nothing wrong with MIG welding. Just could use a little touch up. It looks like some of the welds are starting to break. It's been on for 20 years. Car sits outside. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Gotta clean the box up too. Car is just clean. I love this thing. So yeah. All right, guys. So I'm gonna test Frank's car out here. Key it on real quick. Get that BTI gauge. Key it on. Push the clutch in here. Cold start needs adjusted a little bit. IAT is at 4850 right now. H2 is 48, so pretty close to each other. I'm gonna let it warm up here. I don't like to run the car when it's dead cold like that. I want to let it get above 100 degrees of water temperature before I even start moving the car. Let's let it warm up. I just want to see how the clutch drives. Airbag and stuff's out because, again, still need to finish up this wiring here I talked about. Yeah, so very, very close. Love this TRD tack. This is a real TRD tack too. So that's a whole assembly from Toyota. So very, very cool. Love this car. Love everything about it. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in today. Again, I know I didn't go over any crazy detail, nothing cool, nothing fun that you guys want to see, but hopefully get a couple cool little snippets in here of the car revving or at least moving or something so you guys can enjoy it.